What's going on, guys? What's going on? Right? D-Style Boxing here. Thanks to those that are joining me live and to those that will be joining me on archive. Feel free to leave comments in the chat. I'll be reading them when I kind of do my breakdown really quick. After that, if you're watching this on archive, feel free. Leave a comment. Please like the video if you do, in fact, like it. Right? This weekend, August 26th, we got a big fight coming. It's a big fight for many reasons. The main reason is that this fight is not for one title, not for two titles, not for three, but for four. Four championships are on the line. You could call it super welterweight. I'm sorry. You can call it super lightweight. You can call it junior welterweight. You call it whatever the hell you want. Okay, it's 140 pounds. All right, and this is a big deal. Like, this is a big deal. You know, like, it was, speaking of 140, you know, it kind of, ironically, I was watching Maldrick Taylor versus Julio Cesar Chavez, their first fight, when they were facing each other in a unification, right? And at the time, of course, there was no, or I don't know if it was around or not, but it wasn't a big deal, the WBO. But it's kind of reminds me of that. This is probably, you know, dare I say, the biggest fight at 140 since that fight. You know, if, like, in all honesty, like, it's up there. Now, is it getting the attention that fight got? No, right? But if you're a hardcore boxing fan, if you're someone that cares about the sport, then this fight matters. This fight's important, right? No, this fight isn't getting all the attention from casual fans. No, this fight isn't going to do big, you know, it isn't going to break all types of records or anything like that. But financially anyway, but what it is, it's a unification fight. And I'm looking forward to this fight. I don't know a lot about Indongo. I've never seen a fight of his live, ever. Everything I've seen from him was when I found out he was going to fight Crawford, and I started watching some film of his, okay? And pretty solid fighter. But is he going to be Crawford? Well, let's talk about it, okay? Now, I'm going to admit this video is going to be very Indongo-centric, okay? It's going to mostly be around him, okay? I know Crawford as far as seeing him fight, and I've seen more of his fights. Indongo's somebody I had to really look into, right? And before I begin, okay, let me just say the following, because when I do these videos and when I do these breakdowns, keep in mind it's going to come off as being picky about everything, and it's supposed to be like that because this is boxing at the highest level, right? Both these guys are phenomenal athletes. Okay, both these guys are successful at what they do. Okay, I'm not taking that away from them, but I need to nitpick here, and I need to take in consideration the guy he's fighting, right? A lot of the things I'm going to talk about here, it's easy to say them, but it's harder to actually expose them in the ring. But I feel like I'm going to talk about the good stuff he does too, but just some things that I think we have to watch out for, that he's going to have to watch out for, especially with the guy he's about to fight. Okay, and that was a southpaw. He is 5'10". That's pretty tall for that weight class. So long and rangy. Okay, 71.5-inch reach. His record, okay, 22-0, 11 KOs. Let's talk about a couple things. First of all, the jab, okay? Indongo's, you know, he's got a good jab, but he leans on the jab a little too much, okay? It's very brief. It's not, like, terrible. It doesn't make his jab terrible, but when he's fighting a guy like Crawford, man, you can't lean into the jab like that, okay? Me personally, okay? You know, I want to see more snap, like just get back, man. Just snap like a cobra and come back. There is a little bit of a lean when he jabs, okay? I don't like the fact that he leans when he jabs. When a jab connects, a jab is beautiful, okay? But I've always told people it's when you judge the way a guy throws a punch, it's not just how it looks when it lands. Okay, it's how vulnerable is he when he misses. Okay, and to me, that's where we're going to see that jab kind of exposed a little bit in this fight. It's a good jab, though. It's not terrible. It doesn't mean it's going to cost him the fight, but he happen to lean into it a little too much. The more the rounds go, the little more, fatigue he becomes, past the 6th, 7th round, he leans on it even a little more, and a little fraction of a seconds matter. Okay, they go a long way. Okay, so I hope that's something that they're aware of. Okay, let's talk about his left hand. Okay, he does two things very well. Okay, there's two things I like about Indongo is that he's not one-dimensional with his left in this way. All right, he's a little too telegraphed. We'll talk about that, but one thing I like that he does is when a guy ducks in low, the way he positions, okay, his power hand, his left hand, he's ready to throw an uppercut or even a kind of a hook if necessary, if a guy ducks low or moves to the side, okay? Just is very well placed, but it's also well placed in case a guy leans back, he could throw it straight left, okay? I really like that, and that really impressed me a lot. And it shows you why the guy's been successful and why he's in this fight right now. All right, that is to me the strongest part about Indongo. Okay, that the more I saw it, like, damn, this guy's pretty good at that. And it's kind of hard too because I'm watching the fight. I'm like well, I thought he was gonna throw a straight left there, but he landed the uppercut on the guy. So if with Indongo, you got to be careful. You can't just back up. You can't just duck low. You can't just kind of move towards his power hand, okay? Because he could throw the hook that way. If he duck in low, he could throw the uppercut. If you just back up, he could throw the straight right. I'm sorry, the straight left. So that is to me what gives a lot of guys a lot of problems with Indongo. They can't quite figure that out, so they have a hard time slipping in. You have to be able to, unless he's going to throw the left before he does, and sure, you can slip the left, and if you do, great for you. But if you don't, you got that uppercut coming, and he positions it very well. Now, it's a double-edged sword. So what makes him lethal in that regard? At the same time, he bends back the knee a little bit. He always does that before he throws. Now that doesn't mean it's going to be an uppercut or a hook or what have you. He does have to anticipate what you're going to do too, but it seems like he's kind of mastered a little bit on what guys are going to do. I just question if that's going to work on Crawford. I don't think it is. I think Crawford's a little too clever for that. Crawford's just going to, I'm assuming, okay, Crawford is on his, okay, the guy's orthodox, Crawford, okay? So Crawford has his left foot forward. So Crawford can feel very comfortable moving to what would be his left, but he has to step to the left, all right? And that's something that anytime someone avoided that from Indongo, that's what they would do, all right? So, and if he steps to the left, I think what's going to happen is Crawford's going to also, once he steps left, Indongo's going to overreach there, okay? He's either going to have to surrender throwing to left, which is exactly what will work perfectly for Crawford. And from there, Crawford could set up a hook. He could throw the left hook, right? So it's going to be very difficult for Indongo, in my opinion. This is why they fight the fights, to be able to just keep Crawford either ducking low or I don't see why Crawford in any way, shape, or form would circle, okay, or step to the side anyway towards the power hand of Indongo. If he does, he's asking to get hooked in the face. Right, so that's one thing, all right. And I believe Crawford will be able to see that coming because it's a little telegraphed. It's with his back foot, right? So you can you stick a jab in a dude's face, and he can't exactly be looking at your back foot, and so there's things Indongo could do that he does do, that he to disguise that, right? But that's going to be like the first 2-3 rounds are going to be very interesting, because someone's going to be forced to make an adjustment in the first 3 rounds. Like someone is going to be put in that position. And if Crawford is getting hit with that left early, whether it's a straight, I don't think Crawford's just going to back up straight back. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think Crawford's going to find himself. You don't want to be in the ropes against a guy like Indongo with that left hand. You want to circle out of there. I think Crawford's a little too clever for that, right? So I think he'll be fine. But it's going to be interesting to see if Indongo can be successful with that. Disguise it with a jab a little bit, what seems to be what he does, and not allow Crawford to anticipate the left. Okay, and force Crawford, duck under this jab, and then boom, there's the left. Like, you know what I mean? So that's one thing. His lead hand. Let's talk about his right hand here. I talked about the jab. He leans a little too much into it. Like, it starts perfectly, but then he just kind of leans in a little bit too much. He expands the right hand. Okay, or his elbow, that is. Like, if you notice, every time Indongo, okay, when he's fighting, he moves his elbow, okay, to the side. Now that allows him to either throw an uppercut. To throw a hook, right, or throw a straight uppercut. Okay, it puts him in good position to do that, right? And then he's also keeping that left in the holster, so you got to be able to read both those things. Which brings me to this, because I just finished talking about Crawford. All he's got to do is, is step away from the power left. But Indongo, he has that hook ready, and he does use that hook for when guys do step to that direction, when they're anticipating the left. So Crawford's got to be, he's got to be kind of wary of that. It's got to be kind of a step and step back kind of thing. He can't just. It's not just going to be one simple movement. It's not going to, at this level of boxing, it's not going to, stop another guy from hitting you. Now, you got to do a little more than that. But that's kind of a nice trick that Indongo has. It's kind of clever, and it's a good habit. It's not a bad habit. The only problem he might have with that is, putting that hand like that, when he throws that, especially when he throws if he throws a jab, he leans in a little bit, okay, and then that takes an extra millisecond, okay, to put the elbow to the side and then throw the uppercut. Okay, anything that has success has some form of weakness, and the only problem with that is that extra millisecond or two can give Crawford an opening. All right. Now I want to talk about Crawford here. He's 5'8", 70-inch reach, so he's giving up a reach advantage here. He's 2 inches shorter than Indongo. 1.5 inch reach advantage for Indongo here. I just think that one little second of leaning in on that jab and just those little things, I don't think the reach advantage, I don't think the size advantage is going to matter in this fight, right? Because Indongo hasn't quite mastered how to use it at its maximum, and I don't believe anyway. This is why they fight the fights, all right? Crawford, first of all, has one of the best lead uppercuts I've seen since maybe Jose Luis Castillo. Okay, Jose Luis Castillo had a very good lead uppercut. Crawford's lead uppercut is fucking vicious, man. Right? I remember he caught Gamboa with that, and Gamboa did not know what the fuck just hit him. Okay, he was picking himself on the canvas like, holy shit. But not just that, man. The Crawford's left hook is a thing of beauty as well, and it's just boom. I mean, it's snappy, it's powerful, it's fast, and it's right back being, and his glove is right back being used as a defense, like just immediately, right? Another thing Crawford does well, he uses his shoulders very well. Okay, when Crawford throws a punch, it's very rare that he leaves his chin completely exposed. He uses that armor in his shoulders very well. Okay, I don't really see Indongo using that. So when they're in close quarters, okay, when they are in that phone booth, I believe he can make Indongo feel very uncomfortable in there. Just get in that distance. Don't allow Indongo to use those long limbs to shoot those shots with complete force. You know, use those elbows. I'm sorry, the shoulders on the inside. You know, Crawford has really good short shots. I mean, for mid-range, he throws short shots very well. They're very lethal too. Like they actually hurt opponents. His stepping back counters, right? He did it a lot, like late in the Gamboa fight. Okay, like by the way, I'm not here to tell everybody that Crawford's this invincible fighter. He's not. Nobody's invincible, right? But when he steps back, he's one of the very few fighters that could step back in the line of fire and connect with power. I mean, his ability to step back and then he just needs a fraction of a second to sit on those punches and boom, land them with complete force. Crawford's one of the best in the world at doing that. Right? I don't see that in Indongo. Like, I just don't. Indongo needs a lot more time to sit on those shots. He does some things well. I like some of the things he does. I just don't know if they're going to work at this level against a guy like Crawford. Okay, I don't know if it's going to work at that level, right? He's always, it's just always has a superior position, and Crawford will throw like a lead uppercut, miss it. He misses lead uppercuts, and usually guys are. I remember Andre Berto would throw like uppercuts, and when they landed, they were a thing of beauty, right? But when he would miss, Andre Berto will stumble on himself. Okay, like he would lose complete balance. Crawford has, man, he throws that thing with such ferocity, and it's like he just stops it and he just stops it in midair and bam, brings it back down, like quickly. It's like a quick release, and very few fighters have that, man. He never loses balance. He's always always in balance, and I think where Indongo could have success is if he can keep the fight on the outside, utilize his jab, establish distance, and just don't allow Crawford to just, to come in and force exchanges of any form. And, because another thing I noticed is when Indongo throws more than 3 punches, like 3 or 4 punches, almost every time the dude squares up. And it's like a half a second thing. It's not like he's ultimately doing it. Right, but he squares up for about half a second there, and that's all Crawford needs, man. That's all Crawford needs. So what do I think is going to happen in this fight? Well, first of all, I'm going to look forward to this fight. I hope it's a great fight. I believe Crawford wins this fight by late round stoppage. I think he stops Indongo around maybe I would say about the 9th or 10th round. I don't know if Indongo is going to – I think he might have some success early. He's going to give Crawford problems in the first 2-3 rounds. But once Crawford figures out, things that Indongo really can't fix in the middle of a fight, those half seconds, those milliseconds of telegraphing, of squaring up, of like those just little details. A guy at the level of a Crawford is going to expose that to the world. Okay, he's going to expose those weaknesses. I do believe Crawford is going to neutralize that left hand of Indongo, force him to use his lead hand. That's gonna cause Indongo to lean forward a lot, and Indongo's going to get lit up, man. He's going to get lit up with hooks. He's going to get lit up with probably uppercuts. That lead uppercut's going to land at least once in that fight. And if it does, Indongo might go to sleep, right? And both fighters are undefeated. None of them have been defeated or knocked out. I get that, but I hope it's a good fight, man. I hope it's a great fight, but that's my official prediction, right? That's my official prediction. All right, let me bring up this chat here really quick. And, I do wonder, though, and this goes out to a lot of boxing fans, man. A lot of you guys, you don't like it when I come on here and I talk McGregor versus Mayweather, right? Like, you guys don't like it. But then I come on here, right? the same people they'll leave a comment, oh, they'll come to the chat. Why are you talking about this fight? Talk about real boxing, right? A lot of you guys are nowhere to be found, man. Like when I actually talk about a quote unquote, like I'm talking about freaking probably the biggest fight at 140 pounds is Maldry Taylor versus Chavez. Okay, as far as, you know, I know a lot of people are going to say that. Oh, come on, you can't say that. I mean, I'm talking about when you're talking about the what's on the line. It really is. Okay, I know that's quite a statement, but it really is. Or AJ10 says Crawford will be #1 pound for pound for me if he wins. I think Crawford's already pound for pound, bro. I really believe that. I mean, yeah, well, maybe Andre Ward, but it's Crawford is up there to me. All right. What's up, DBC? What's up, Blood? Larry Allerby, great breakdown of these style, much knowledge. AJ10, I got Crawford, 8th round TKO. Gorguruga, Indongo beat Burns by a wider margin than Crawford, though. What's up, Bruce? D-Style is grinding. Good stuff. All right, guys. Look. Fine. He beat Ricky Burns at a wider margin. I mean, I thought Crawford handled Burns. I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't think Crawford went past second gear in that fight. Right? I'm just giving you guys my prediction, man. I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. You know, so we'll see how it goes. It's Indongo is really dangerous, and especially if you can't figure him out. If Crawford doesn't, I doubt he won't, but if he doesn't figure him out, then he's in trouble. Okay. If Crawford can't close that distance, he's going to be in trouble. But I believe he will. I really do. I think he's going to close that distance. I think he's going to, you know, have his way with Indongo past the 6th round. You know, because I don't know if you guys want to tell me what else Indongo could do. Like if I just went over some of the things that I think he does great, but if that's all he has, that's one layer. Unless there's something that Indongo has in the bag that we haven't seen yet, which is possible, right? Which is definitely possible. Then we just don't know exactly, and for sure, we just don't know. You know what's. I personally don't know what Indongo could do. Maybe you guys have seen Indongo do other stuff, you know, but I watched quite a good amount of film of his, so. Yeah, Indongo beat Hearns wide in the scorecards. Okay, I mean they both beat his ass, bro. Like both of them beat his ass. They both beat Ricochet Burns. Okay, all right, both of them did. Like it really is what it is, you know. I can't wait for this fight. It's gonna be, man. Look at this: IPF, WBA, WBC, WBO unification. I haven't seen that shit in years, right? And this right here is Exhibit A, that it is possible that we can get these unifications to happen. This is proof right here, right? This is proof right here. So I got to give props to both these fighters for making this fight happen, and I can't wait to see who wins this fight, man. I think it's gonna be a win for Crawford. But regardless of who wins, man, may the best man win. Yeah, Ricky Burns is 3 years younger. Yeah, I mean that has quite a role to play there, you know. I still think Crawford has a way with Ricky Burns, you know. But anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on this fight. I might do another video or two about this fight. You know, just depending on what people say, and you know, just if there's something people can point out, I'm all for it. Okay. I just want to know where you guys are at, man. The dudes that demanded real boxing talk. Well, where are you guys? It's all talk, man. A lot of these dudes are all talk. I swear to God. Okay, they're all talk. They just want something to complain about. Right? Like, oh, I came to D-Style's channel and he's talking about McGregor versus Mayweather. I came here to listen about boxing, not WWE. Well, where are you guys? I look forward to your comments. I really do. All right. I look forward to your thumbs up too. All right. There you go, guys. There you go. All right. I'm going to wrap this up, guys. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out.